Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Football Forum. Glad to see a few people in here ready to go already. Excuse me, I'll just fix my camera so I don't keep cutting myself off. Yeah, how we doing, guys? Decent episode tonight, pretty casual. Obviously, Premier League on the international break. So yeah, we'll just have a good chat. I'm on a beer. Oh, camera's that way. I'm on a beer, just relaxing, talking football, doing what we love. Richard Randall's already liked the stream. Thanks for that, Richard. Brian, hello. Hey, mate, how are you? Thanks for coming in. So, yeah, first things first, if you are watching and you haven't interacted, give us a like, say something in chat, whatever it is, let us know you're here so we can interact. And, yeah, we'll get on with the show. So, we've got, obviously, the international break. There's been some international games, so we'll chat around some of that. We've got the upcoming FA WSL season, so obviously the Women's Premier League is probably the easiest way to explain it. So we'll have a bit of a peek at that. What else did we have? Player salaries in the Premier League. We'll go over some of that stuff. And then obviously just chatting with you guys in the chat, Friday night chats. So, so we'll get into it. Please, if you are here, make sure you get yourself involved. Do excuse me when I look down, it's just me checking my notes. So I can keep on topic because I've got a shocking memory, and we'll have some fun with it all. So it's good, like I said, good to see a couple of people in here. How's everyone's week been? Hope everyone's doing well. Obviously, if you're in Victoria and you are involved in football in Victoria, you would have, I assume you would have heard that the season is officially off. So I think for most people, the focus will now go on to what next season is going to look like. So if you've got plans for next season or any ideas around what you're doing next season, pop them in chat. Let's chat about that as well. But yeah, Football Victoria announcing at 3 p.m. this afternoon that the season will be finished. There is no promotion, relegation, no champions, no golden boot winners. Basically, the season might as well not exist. So it's all done. It's all dusted. I think they're talking about for regional Victoria some sort of return to play when restrictions ease up for regional, if they ease up for regional. But yeah, for most of us, it will be just focusing on what we're going to do next year. So it is what it is. If you haven't heard about it, you have now. So yeah, what are you guys up to next year? What are your plans for next season? Any ideas around that? What are your thoughts on the season obviously being cancelled and no promotion, relegation, all that sort of stuff? Happy to chat about all that good stuff as well. So just pop in chat and we can chat away about that. So just recently, after the transfer window has closed, all of the updated salaries for the Premier League have been released, or weekly wages for the Premier League have been released, and there are some eye-watering numbers in here. So we'll go through some of these in a minute. We also had some pretty shocking results on the international stage. Hey Chris, how you doing, mate? Good to see you back in here. Hope you're doing well. Have you had a good week, mate? Had a good week? Sorry, week. What am I on? Hope you've had a good week, buddy. Good to see you back. But yeah, as I was saying, we've had some pretty surprising results on the international stage. Some not so surprising results as well. So we'll chat over some of those. And yeah, let's get into it. So probably the most shocking result on the international stage, and I don't know if anyone saw this game, Spain lose their first World Cup qualifier for the first time in 28 years, which is insane. 28 years without losing a World Cup qualifier. They've come undone against Sweden. They actually went one goal ahead, end up losing the game 2-1. So Sweden now leapfrogs them and goes ahead in Group B. And there's the possibility that Spain will be in a playoff to get into the World Cup, 2022 World Cup, which is absolutely crazy. It's pretty mental. Basically, only the top finisher in each group is guaranteed a ticket. And Spain are not on top, so they've got a bit of work to do and could find themselves having to play in a playoff. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got some more in chat. Christopher, I've had a good week, thanks. How about you? Yeah, I've been all right, Christopher. Working quite a bit, so I'm a bit tired and trying to get around as much football as I can, so I've got something to come on here and talk to you guys about. But yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I'm doing all right. Chris Gomez, today was supposed to be the last weekend of the season anyway. Yeah, that's true, Chris. I suppose good timing and all that sort of stuff. Thanks for popping in again, mate. Really good to see you here. Did you watch the Spain game, Chris? Yeah, so Spain in a bit of trouble. Some news outlets are even calling it the global mess. Christopher, I was wrong about England having a weak squad. It's been the same as normal. Yeah, Christopher, I think we'll talk about that game in a minute, but I think for me, being English myself, it's good to see a team that's very consistent from England at the moment and also very together. And that's the big difference between the squad we've got now and the so-called golden generation of the 90s, 2000s, which you might be a bit too young to remember, but that was supposed to be our team that goes and wins the World Cup and does all the good stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s. It didn't play off. I think the big difference between the two squads from then to now is that the guys are mates on and off the pitch, and you can sort of see that. We're probably the most consistent international team on the planet at the moment in terms of we got to a semi-final in the World Cup, final of the Euros, and World Cup qualifying obviously off to a good start as well. So we're very consistent, whereas some of the other sort of big players in international football have not been so good. Spain obviously losing to Sweden, Germany, they win 2-0, which we'll talk about in a minute, but they didn't look spectacular by any means. And yeah, France having a disappointing exit out of Euros as well. So your normal big players are sort of struggling. Brazil didn't play amazingly against Chile today. And yeah, so you look at those sort of historically big countries that are struggling. That's why I say England's probably the most consistent at the moment. So the future is very bright for England, in my opinion. Yeah, I tend to agree, Christopher. The downside to being English is experience has told me not to get too excited. So I try and keep it under control and don't get too carried away, because I've been very, very excited in the past about what our team might be able to do, and I've been very, very let down in the past. So, but no, it is looking good. We've got a lot of good young talent, especially in the attacking areas. A lot of good young attacking talent, and like I said, the big difference is the cohesion on and off the pitch is looking much, much better for England. So hopefully, I think we're in with our best shot. I'm not saying we will win it, but we're in with our best shot of winning a World Cup, either this one or the next one. It's probably the best shot we've had to win a World Cup in a very, very long time. Again, doesn't mean we will, but the consistency from the team, the attacking talent we have, the youthfulness of the side, and the cohesion on and off the pitch where everyone's getting along, it could lead to something special. I hope it does. Stephen Birch, hi Dean. Hey Stephen, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. We'll be having a chat about those salaries, Stephen. I had a read of that article, and that prompted me to look into some other salaries as well. So there's definitely some eye-watering numbers. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, so Spain, obviously, the first big mishap from the international games. I should talk about Australia, I suppose. I think most of you guys are either in or are Australian, live in Australia or are Australian. So Socceroos, 3-0 win against China. Very comfortable win. It should have been a very comfortable win playing at home against China. Aaron Moy made his return to the international team. And yeah, all in all, a good game. Pardon me. A good game for Australia is what I was trying to say there. Now to go away and do it to Vietnam. So interested to see what the Aussies in here think, or the people that follow the Aussies. Maybe a little bit closer than I do. I do try to keep up with the Australian scores, but England are my priority. But yeah, a good comfortable win from the Socceroos, and it's good to see because when you look back not that long ago, it's these sort of games where the Socceroos were falling a bit short and letting themselves down, whereas they seem to rise to the big occasions a little bit better. So a good result there. I'm sure the Aussies will be pretty happy with it, and hopefully they can do it again against Vietnam. Another surprise from the weekend, the game Stephen Birch, the game was played overseas. Yeah, Stephen, but it was technically Australia's home game, if you know what I mean. So Australia were technically the home team. But anyway, European champs Italy held by Bulgaria. Now that's a bit of a shock as well. So Italy obviously looked sensational throughout the Euros. We won't talk about the final because I'll get upset about it. But they've put out pretty much the same team that won the Euros against Bulgaria, and it hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone well. They've ended up in a draw, a 1-1 draw, to the 75th ranked Bulgaria. So I'm sure they'll be disappointed. Now, having said that, I think Italy, it was something like 78% of the ball they had, and a whole lot of shots, but they just got done. They also had, hang on, I'll check my notes. There you go, 27 shots to 4 and nearly 600 passes more than Bulgaria. And they still managed to get a 1-1 draw. So Bulgaria will be wrapped, absolutely wrapped. And Italy not so much. So that'll put some pressure on Italy to set things straight and get themselves back on the right path in terms of qualification. It would be pretty embarrassing for Italy if they miss out on qualification for another World Cup, especially after they've just won the Euros. So I'm not saying they will. I don't think they will. But, drawing to Bulgaria is probably not a great start. Stephen Birch, Khalifa International Stadium. They had 2 days prep with only one coach available. Is that China? Are you talking about Australia there? Sorry, Stephen. Is that who you're talking about? England marred by racist chants. That's the headline on Optus Sport. I've written that in my notes so I remember to talk about this particular moment. So, obviously, I'm sure some of you would have heard about when Raheem Sterling scored his goal for England against Hungary this morning in our time. The Hungary fans throwing bottles and stuff at Raheem Sterling and cups and all that sort of stuff. But the racist stuff started straight from kickoff. So before kickoff, should I say. The England team, Hungary team have gone out for kickoff. England have taken the knee for racism as they have been doing for a long time. And the Hungary fans immediately start booing and getting aggro about the fact that they're taking a knee. And from then on, it's just like racial chanting and all that sort of stuff going on. Raheem Sterling scores a goal, stuff's thrown on the pitch. But the England players took it in their stride. They played really well. They got a 4-0 win. And there was even a bit of sort of tongue-in-cheek poking back as well. So I don't know if anyone's seen this, but obviously the Hungary fans have thrown their plastic beer cups at Sterling. And Declan Rice has come over and picked one up and drunk some of the beer out of the cup. And sort of riled the Hungary fans up, giving it to them as well. So, Deckers and Grealish drank the cups. Exactly, Christopher. So the English fans sort of giving it back. The English players sort of giving it back a little bit, taking it in their stride and sort of harnessing that energy and turning it back on them, which was really cool to see. So the racism obviously not on, but the way the English players took it in their stride and sort of turned it back on them and used it against them was fantastic. And then some of the posts from the English players afterwards, Mason Mount put one up, Hungary for more, and just cheeky little digs like that, which was really good to see. So, but yeah, obviously the racism, especially when Hungary had already been in trouble not that long ago for it, not ideal and not on. So, Stephen Birch, Australia. So 2 days prep with only one coach, and they go out and win 3-0 comfortably. China didn't look good. But I think a lot of that is because Australia made them look bad. So that's really good on their part, Stephen. Sorry, just catching up on my notes. Germany, 2-0 win. As I was saying, against Liechtenstein, not an amazing win and not an amazing game. But a win's a win. They'll be happy. They'll keep trying to cruise on. They've got to improve from here. You would imagine 2-0 against Liechtenstein is probably not what they would expect from their team, but it is what it is. They'll move on, and that's about all I've got on the international front in my notes. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about international, pop it in chat. Happy to discuss it. That's about all I've made a note of. And yeah, so that's where we're at. That's the World Cup qualifiers. That's Australia's Asian AFC qualifier. It's been, yeah, like I said, it's been interesting, especially to see your teams like your Spains and your Italys not getting off to the best start. So a lot of work to do, especially for Spain going out and losing, again, for the first time in 28 years, losing a qualifier. It's a big step in the wrong direction, isn't it? So Christopher, what's your thoughts on the Dutch? I'm not convinced from them. Yeah, look, Christopher, the Dutch have not been good for quite a while. And it's a bit of a shame to see, really. The history of the game, the Dutch have been very, very good, very strong. Some very big individuals that have had have played a major part in the way the game's gone and where it's got to today. So I have a bit of a soft spot for the Dutch because of their history in football, but they're not looking that great. They will struggle against sort of mid to top tier teams. It's hard to say. It is still a bit early. We'll see. Yeah, but no, I agree with you, Christopher. I'm not amazingly impressed. I'm not impressed by the Dutch at the moment. Stephen Birch, a big result in Australia's group with Japan losing 1-0 to Oman. Yes, Stephen, I did have that in my notes. How have I missed that? Yeah, a result I definitely did not see coming. I don't think many people did see that result coming. Australia will be wrapped with it, but on the flip side, is it a little bit of a warning that maybe Oman can be a bit of a pain as well? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what a result, especially for Oman. And again, similar to Spain, that puts a fair bit of pressure on. A fair bit of pressure on Japan now. So it makes things interesting. Australia would now have to be favourites for the group, you would imagine, given that Japan have made that mistake. But we'll see. Fred Campos has liked the stream. How you doing, mate? Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, thanks for coming along. Japan, Stephen, big disappointing result there on their part, and some work to do, and hopefully Australia can take that and run with it and give themselves a bit of a buffer before they have to play Japan and hold on to that top spot. It'll be interesting to see how that group plays out now. Christopher, yeah, Japan are the favourites to top the group from memory. Yeah, Christopher, Japan were the favourites for sure. They're a very good technical team usually. So, as Stephen says, still early days. But really, you'd like to see Australia, now they've sort of been handed a bit of an opportunity to grab that with both hands and really make a point of it. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Christopher, they were poor against Norway. Yeah, they were, mate. The Dutch were definitely poor against Norway. I'm not too sure what the answer is to their problems, to be honest. But who knows? As Stephen says, in relation to the Australia group, it's still early days. It's the same with all the groups across the World Cup qualifying. It is early days. There's still plenty of time to render, to correct mistakes and stuff like that. So, it's early on. It's early on. So, I'm seeing our viewers growing up, which is our numbers are going up, which is good to see. So if you are in here, like Fred's just done, drop us a like or jump in chat. Just let us know you're here, who you are, all that sort of stuff. I can't see who's watching until you guys interact. So let us know you're here so I can say hello. Thank you for interacting and all that sort of stuff. If there's anything else you want to see covered or talk about, anything football related or otherwise, jump in chat, have a chat. I make a point of responding to everybody. That's pretty much what this is about. I'll talk a bit of football, interact with the chat. Once I've got through my notes, it's pretty much just chatting to you guys. So if you are in here, and you haven't interacted, please do. So at the very least, I can say thank you for coming and giving me a bit of support. So moving on, we'll get on to the salaries. So I've got some notes here on the salaries in the Premier League. And there is some absolutely crazy numbers. I mean, the top 50 are all above £130,000 or something like that a week. So mental money. But again, some of these will cover their wages with shirt sales and tickets and all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting one. So I'll put it out to chat. Who's the highest paid player in the Premier League now? There shouldn't be any massive awards for first place, first correct guess. It should be pretty straightforward, but let's put it out there. Who creeps in first with the answer? Highest paid player in the Premier League now? Well, I just had an idea actually. Could do like a football trivia night or something. Could make that happen. If you're keen on that, let us know in the chat. Christopher FC, Ronaldo. There you go. No surprises there. Cristiano Ronaldo. He is on £510,000 a week since he's re-signed with Man United. Decent money. I'm sure he's not complaining. Does he justify that much at 36 in the Premier League? We're about to find out, I guess, but I'd like to hear what you guys reckon on that. Do you reckon Ronaldo justifies just over £500,000 a week? Let's go for a top three guess. So we've got Ronaldo. Let's go for 2 and 3. Stephen Birch, Ronaldo, $385 a week. That's a cheap Ronaldo. Gerrard. Nah, no Gerrard. Poor man's Lampard. That's what the Gerrard is. Nah, he coaches now, babe. He coaches. He's the coach of Rangers in Scotland. So, yeah, Stephen Birch, Ronaldo is on £510,000 a week. Second and third place, have your guesses. See. Yeah, no, Stephen Birch, £510,000. Not Australian dollars, pounds. Pounds. Christopher reckons Grealish, KDB. So you got one in there, Christopher. Stephen Birch, David De Gea, good shout. So between Christopher and Stephen, we've got the other two. So second place in the Premier League for pay, Kevin De Bruyne, £400,000 a week. This is pounds, not Australian dollars, guys. And David De Gea, also $375,000 per week. Manchester United have 4 of the top 5 highest paid players in the league. Ronaldo, De Gea, Jadon Sancho and Raphael Varane. 4 of the top 5 highest players in the league, all playing for United. Chelsea's highest player comes in at 6th place. I'll let you guys guess who that might be. And City have the highest player, obviously, at 2nd with De Bruyne. But yeah, out of the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the top 10 are Manchester United players. Where are we? Dallas, Rangers, son. Dallas, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Pogba is not number 4. No, Dallas. Number 4 is Jadon Sancho, £350,000 per week. Christopher Havertz is not the correct answer for Chelsea's highest paid player. So Jadon Sancho 4th, Raphael Varane is in 5th on £340,000 a week. Paul Pogba, for you, Dallas. Paul Pogba comes in at 9th in the Premier League on £290,000 a week. So the top paid... Oh, Stefan Otto. How you doing? Stefan Mourinho. How you doing, mate? Good to see you in here. Kante is not the highest paid player in Chelsea. He is the second highest paid Chelsea player. Big Rom is the correct answer, Christopher. Romelu Lukaku comes in, Chelsea's highest paid player, £325,000 a week. Angola Kante, he's equal ninth with Paul Pogba. He's on £290,000 a week with Paul Pogba. So Kante, Pogba on the same money. So rounding out the top 10, we have Jack Grealish and Raheem Sterling in equal 7th, both of which are on £300,000 a week. So United paying massive, massive money for their boys. Massive money. Let's see, who else is on some decent cash? Give me a sec, let me just read my notes. So, here we go, Christian Pulisic. Yeah, that's a week, babe, yeah, that's a week. Yeah, so Christian Pulisic of Chelsea is on £137.5 thousand a week. Heung-min Son is probably the only Tottenham that I like. I can't stand Tottenham, obviously, for obvious reasons. But Heung-min Son, absolute gun. He's on £140,000 a week. Underpaid, in my opinion. Stephen Birch, the biggest Man United anomaly for me is McTominay only getting £10,000 a week on a contract until 2025. He probably has to change in the car park. I saw that, Stephen, and it had me giggling like crazy. I could not believe a guy that's playing almost every minute for one of the top Premier League teams is on £10,000 a week. I reckon you could go down to League One and find people on 10 grand a week. Not literally, maybe, but you get what I mean. It's in terms of Premier League money, McTominay is a peasant in comparison. Absolutely insane. Christopher, Son underpaid, 100%. Christopher, underpaid and underrated. If Heung-min Son was French, Brazilian, English, anything but Korean really, people would be going off about him. But for some reason he flies under the radar. Absolute gun. Ilkay Gundogan, £140,000 a week. It's nothing to blush at there, is it? Liverpool's James Milner, the man, the myth and the legend, James Milner, £140,000 a week for probably one of the fittest players that's ever lived. Jordan Henderson, £140,000 as well. So there you go. Milner and Henderson are on the same money. That's a bit crazy. Mr. Vardy, he's partying, £140,000 a week. Nicolas Pepe, also £140,000 a week. Bernardo Silva, £150,000 a week. These are just mental money. Mental money. Fernandinho, who's like, should be playing for Man City's old man retirement group. He's still on 150 grand a week. £150,000 a week. Let's see if there's any surprises in here. Here we go. So, Christopher, you suggested Kai Havertz for the highest paid player. The highest paid player for the highest paid player for Chelsea was Romelu Lukaku, £325,000 a week. Kai Havertz is only on £150,000 a week. Bruno Fernandes, £154,000. Here we go. To put this into perspective, Kepa Arrizabalaga, £155,000. Couldn't catch a cold. And that's my keeper I'm talking about. Jack, who is the top paid player of all time? It'd have to be Messi or Ronaldo, but I'll have a look to confirm which one it was. I know Messi was on €900,000 a week at Barcelona, but let's have a quick look. Highest paid player. So as it stands right now, Ronaldo on £531,000 a week is the highest paid player. Let me see. That's transfers. Just trying to get it up. Let me have a look. Christopher, wow, Havertz will get a big contract eventually. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, mate. £150,000 is nothing to blush at, is it? I think, babe, Ronaldo on 500 and what did I say? £551,000 a week or whatever it was. He would be your highest paid player in history now. Where've my notes gone? Oh no. Here we go. So we've got some questions coming in. Let's have a look. Mason Mount. Give me a second. Let me just flick through my notes and find him. Mason Mount is another player who I think is due a pay rise off the top of my head, because I believe he doesn't even make the top 50, if I remember rightly. Where did I put it? Here we go. Yeah, so Mason Mount, weekly salary, £88,462. That boy needs a pay rise. That's Chelsea's player of the year last year, on like half the money of most of the squad. That boy needs a pay rise. Who else did we get? Bop Smoke. How much is Greenwood on? Let's have a look. Mason Greenwood, £75,000 a week. Probably another young lad who's on the verge of getting a decent pay rise, I would say. Yeah, there you go. Mason Mount, 100% needs a pay rise. Greenwood, probably the same. There we go. Christopher Mount needs a pay rise, 100%. Ethan, would he be getting a loyalty bonus for coming from their youth development or no? Ethan, no, he wouldn't. But what he would be getting. So this is something else to consider, guys. On top of this money per week, they will also be getting sponsorship deals, endorsements, all that sort of stuff. So this is just what the club's paying them. Someone like Ronaldo would be making hundreds of millions a year from sponsorship before he even touches his football money. So this is literally just what the club is paying the player. Yeah, this is not everything they earn. This is what the club pays them. Yeah, Ethan. Oh, yeah, Mason Mount wouldn't be getting a loyalty bonus for coming from the academy. That's for sure. Stephen Birch. Michael Jordan made $10 million in the first week that it was announced that Ronaldo. Chat's going off. Michael Jordan made $10 million in the first week that it was announced that Messi was joining PSG. PSG uses brand Jordan on their merchandise, and in return, Jordan gets 15% of all merchandise sales. I saw that, Stephen. I saw that, and I actually saw that originally when I saw the new PSG kits, and it had the Jordan logo on it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" So there's a basketball brand sponsoring a football team. That's crazy, like supplying a football team, which is pretty cool. And yeah, again, Jordan comes up trumps, makes killer money because his brand's PSG, and now Messi's at PSG, so that goes well for him. Christopher's got another couple of players he wants me to check out. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Aaron Van Bissaka, and Declan Rice. I'll get to those in a second, Christopher. Just hang around. Brian, how you doing, mate? Thanks for coming in the stream. What do you think about Ronaldo coming back to the Premier League, but Messi not gracing the league? Do you think he will ever play in England, and who for if he does finally come? So, Ronaldo back in the Premier League is a good thing. It's a good thing for the Premier League. Obviously, a massive thing for United. I hope he sucks when he plays Chelsea, but I'm not holding my breath. I know he's 36, but look what he's just done to Ireland. He's just banged in 2 killer goals. We should talk about Ronaldo. He's just become the highest ever international goal scoring player, period. So he's actually got the Guinness Book of Records for that. Hats off to the bloke. He's obviously still got it. So Ronaldo back to the Premier League, amazing. Messi coming to the Premier League. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I don't think it will. Messi is a couple of years younger than Ronaldo, off the top of my head, but he doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to have the same longevity as Ronaldo. His body seems to be breaking down a little bit more regularly recently in the last couple of years. Still insane. Still top 2 players in the world, him and Ronaldo, no doubt about it. But I don't know if he's got the longevity. I think PSG, maybe 2 years, and then I don't see him being at the level to come back to the Premier League, to be honest. And he hasn't got a lot of reason to risk it. It's going to be more physical. He's going to get pushed around. At his age, that risks injury. That risks career being done. So I don't think we will see Messi in the Premier League. No. Christopher, I think Trent's 130k, but I want to make sure. I'll have a check of that in a sec, Christopher. Brian, can Arsenal get relegated? Yeah, 100%. 3 games, 3 losses, no goals scored is crazy. It's crazy. I think they'll be right there with Newcastle. I think it'll be Arsenal and Newcastle fighting off for the championship next year. We'll see. So, sorry, Christopher. Who are we after? Trent Alexander-Arnold. I need to double check. Hang on a second. Where have I put that? Just getting my notes into order, Christopher. Bear with me a moment. Ethan Albury, Arsenal getting the arse, almost like it was meant to be. Let's see. Trent Alexander-Arnold is on £180,000 a week. Who else did we say? Brian, hey, we are 17th with 1 signing. Arsenal signed half a squad and are last. We signed Santi Munez. That'll be interesting. If that's anything like the Goal movie, it's going to be a crack up. If you don't know what we're talking about, get on the Goal movie. Newcastle just signed the young fella Santi Munez. I am tongue twisted tonight. Santi Munez. Have a look at Goal, and you will see why this is funny. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, £180,000 a week. That equates to 9.3 million a year. Pounds. Who else did we have there? Aaron Van Bissaka. Christopher, wow. Yeah, it's decent money. Stephen Birch, the other big story this week was the owner of Arsenal admitting he did not care about winning titles, just making money. I think you take that with a bit of a pinch of salt, though, Stephen. To make money, your club tends to need to do well. And if he wasn't interested in the club doing well, he wouldn't spend that much money on bringing people in. He's brought in probably not the best quality player for what they need to do, but he's made a pretty heavy investment this preseason for someone that doesn't care, in my opinion. So Aaron Van Bissaka is on £90,000 a week. And who else did we say? Declan Rice. Declan Rice is overpriced. West Ham want insane money for this fella. Where are we? He's on a nah, that's not right. I think Declan Rice is on £156,000 a week, if I've got my notes correct. I think I might have that wrong though. Don't quote me on that. Stephen Birch, not his view. It's about building the brand in new markets. Yeah, 100%. Like, without a doubt, Arsenal's owners are more about running the club as a business and making money than they are about winning trophies. No doubt about it. That's 100% the case. As you said, he said that himself. However, I mean, the old adage, Stephen, is you've got to spend money to make money. And the more successful your club is, the more money your club's going to make, generally speaking, if you're not spending insane money, like Barcelona, for example. But if you look at someone like Chelsea, we're very successful. We are also run like a business where people keep going on about Abramovich, but the club is actually self-sufficient now. I mean, even this transfer window, we bring in Romelu Lukaku, Saul Neves, and a few other guys. But with what we've sold, we've only actually spent £3 million, which the club will make back in shirts from Lukaku alone. So, you know, it's possible to do both. I don't buy this whole it's about money. It's possible to do both, and to be honest, they should be trying to do both. But unfortunately for them, Arsenal is a very profitable club. They're still a very big club from their success in the 90s and stuff. And unfortunately for the die-hard Arsenal, those guys aren't going anywhere because that club's going to keep turning over a lot of money. That's where they're at. Ethan Albury liked the stream. Sorry, mate, I didn't see that. Thank you for liking the stream. If you are in here and you can drop us a like and share the stream and all those little things, it costs you nothing and it helps the stream out massively. So I do appreciate that stuff, guys. It really does help. And if you are in here and you haven't said hello or dropped us a like or let me know you're about, please do. Please do. This is all about engaging with you guys. So, yeah, that's some of the crazy wages. They're on pretty massive money. Maybe next week we'll talk about some manager wages. If you guys are keen on that, we can get some manager wages up and see who's getting paid the big bucks in terms of managers. That could be an interesting discussion as well. Yeah, so we'll have a look at that. So coming up, we've also got the Women's Super League. So Stephen, this might be of interest to your girls. Do any of your girls watch the Super League, Stephen? Do you know? But yeah, so we've got the Women's Super League coming up. Obviously, my team are doing amazingly on that front as well. Chelsea only lost one game in the league all year last year. Win the league by 2 points, beating Man City to the league. Get smashed. The girls got smashed in the Champions League final. No dancing around that, unfortunately. But yeah, apart from that, really good season from Emma Hayes. She's extended her contract with Chelsea, which I'm very happy about, and hopefully we can go on to win it again. Stephen, are Leicester a good example of a team that punches above their weight, buy low and sell high while maintaining a high level of performance? I think if you're looking in recent 5 years, the last 5 years, 100%, you can't argue that. I mean, they won the league, which was just fairy tale, absolute fairy tale. Yeah, no, 100%. If you look at the wages they're paying and the players they're bringing in and all that sort of stuff, 100% they're punching way above their weight. But you can say the same thing about Burnley. If you have a good deep look into Burnley, what Sean Dyche has done at Burnley is insane, absolutely incredible. His long-term success there is I know success is a relative term, but in terms of where Burnley have been at and sustaining themselves in the Premier League with the financial support that Sean Dyche's had, or lack of, in comparison to the guys around him, absolutely punching above their weight. They're smashing it. And so far, so are Brentford. They're doing really well. And I hope they keep going. I love to see these teams that, especially like Brentford, they've come up. They've not been in the top division before, and they're making a good account of themselves, and it makes the game more exciting. That's why I love promotion relegation so much, and that's why, in my humble opinion, the A-League sucks. Stephen Burridge, not so sure they do. Fair enough, mate. Evan, good points. Evan, good to see you back in here, mate. Hope you're doing well. It's always nice when you're about. Stephen Burridge, last comment was an answer to the girls team. All good. Yeah, but as I was saying, Leicester, 100% good example of a team that punches above its weight. Burnley's right up there. Brentford, if they keep going the way they're going, right up there. Yeah, there's a few examples there. So, I mean, even if you look at La Liga, I know they're a big club and a lot of money, but if you look at Atletico Madrid the last sort of decade, massively punching above their weight in that they were keeping up with Barcelona and Real Madrid and beating them at points. So, on a little bit of a different scale, still punching way above their weight. And that's what makes football exciting. I think it was Bradford. Bradford, for a lower league team, has knocked off quite a few Premier League teams in the FA Cup. We were one of them, embarrassingly enough. So, yeah, it's always nice to see a team punch above their weight. That was a good question, Stephen. I like that. Okay, that sort of stuff coming. That was good. Where were we? Yeah, Super League. So, Chelsea are coming into the season favourites again. Having said that, Man City have been sensational in the transfer window for the women. If you want me to go into names, more than happy to. I've got them written in the notes, but probably not as many people follow it as the men's game. But City have been very strong in the build up to this, as have Arsenal and as have Everton. I think Arsenal's women's team are going to be a handful this year, which they need because their men's team is shocking. Christopher, I'm going to give you a few players to pick from, and who do you prefer? Mount or Foden, Saka or Greenwood, best CDM in the world, Rice or Phillips? So, I'm going to try not to be biased here. Mount or Foden, they're two very different players. Foden's more of a wide wing player. Mount is better, more central as such. He can move out wide and make runs. Look, that's a tough one. Chris, that one depends on who they're playing around for me. So that depends on who the striker is and that sort of stuff as to who I would prefer. So, for example, to play with Lukaku, I would take Mount every time, 100%. Because for me, I prefer the runs he makes that stretch defences. When Lukaku's dropping in and he's running in behind, I think that suits our style better. For opening a defence that's sitting deep and tight and hard to break down, probably Foden would be the better player. Hopefully that makes sense. But that depends on circumstances. Saka is an amazing talent. I think Greenwood is the better player at the moment, but I don't know if that will be the case for long. Greenwood's finishing, just by the way, sensational. Absolutely sensational. Best CDM in the world, Angola Kante, 100%. Most of the world agrees with that. If you're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, every team on the planet wants Angola Kante. There's no argument there. And Rice or Phillips? Calvin Phillips. I love Declan Rice. He obviously came up through the Chelsea academy. Very, very good player. He's really good at going unnoticed as well. He does a lot of the hard work that people don't really give the attention for. He's very good at winning the ball back on top of the 18-yard box in the defensive area, and cutting passing lanes and stuff like that. But I think Calvin Phillips is a better all-round CDM, which is what both of those guys play. Calvin Phillips is amazingly underrated, and I'm really glad he got to play in the Euros for England, because people are now starting to appreciate what he can do. He's a very, very good player. He's strong, he can shoot, he can pass, he's fast, he's a gun. He's an absolute gun. I really do rate Calvin Phillips very highly. Ethan, how much is Ziyech getting paid? Better not be more than Mount or Havertz. I will double check. Christopher, yeah, I agree with all of them. That's awesome. Another really good question, by the way, Christopher. I enjoy that sort of stuff, guys. Those little things like that, keep them coming in. I love that stuff. If you enjoy it, I'm more than happy to answer that stuff. I live for that. Really gets the brain ticking over. It's good. So, let's have a look, Ethan. Stephen, agree with all your choices, Dean. Thanks, mate. Like I said, I try not to be biased. Let's have a look here. Payroll table. So Kai Havertz, £150,000 a week. Hakim Ziyech, £100,000 a week. Mason Mount, £88,400 a week. So Ziyech is on more than Mount. Less than Havertz, but more than Mount. Again, Mount is in desperate need of a pay rise. That boy is sensational. You can't see it, but there it is. That picture there above my head, that's a hand-signed picture of Mason Mount holding our Champions League trophy. Hand-signed by Mason Mount, all official, all the real deal. Thank you to my gorgeous wife for that. She's a star. Yeah, I've got lots of football stuff, not just on that wall. This whole room that I'm in is all football, mostly Chelsea, a little bit of England. But yeah, this is my football room. I've got a chalkboard painted on the wall in front of me so I can do my tactics and stuff for when I'm coaching. And yeah, maybe one day I'll work out how to, or maybe I'll do it on my phone. I'll do a little short stream and I'll show you guys my football room. It's still a work in progress. We're still looking for more stuff. But yeah, I've got my little place that I come away to, and it's my little football sanctuary. I've got a 120-inch projector that I watch all the games on, and any games that I've got recorded, I can hook up and watch them. As in, like games that I've coached and recorded, I can watch them back, and yeah, I love it. I love it. It's my little. It's basically my version of church. So I come in here and everything football and just do my thing. So, but yeah, Ethan Ziyech is on more than Mount. Not as much as Kai Havertz though. And Kai Havertz is looking decent. He looks like he's finally figuring out the Premier League. Obviously, he looks like he's getting over that bout he had of COVID. And I can sort of see why people are getting excited about the guy. Ethan, I think if you swap the wages, it would actually make sense. To be fair, Hakim Ziyech has been really good in pre-season and then got injured. But this pre-season, he was amazing. He scored our goal in the Super Cup that won us the Super Cup. So he's another one. He really surprised me in the pre-season. I'll be honest. I've been a bit of a critic of him. I still don't think, and didn't think that he's the right sort of player for the Premier League. I think he's a very good player. I just don't think the Premier League suits him. But he in the pre-season really impressed me, and I hope that he proves me wrong. I said that before we signed him when we were linked with him. A few of you that are sort of close to me will remember me saying that I don't think he's right for the Premier League. But how is Packy coping with the lockdowns? Evan, not great. But I think everyone's struggling with the lockdowns, mate. Are you talking about the club or just the suburb? Just to clarify. Ethan, I think the feed has frozen. Can anyone else still hear me? Or is everything frozen? if you can still hear me, let us know, and we might just wait for something to catch up. Hopefully it hasn't frozen. That'd be crap. Okay, you can hear me. Beautiful. Oh, so is the camera just frozen? Is it, Ethan? Is that what's going on? Anyway, yeah. I've lost my train of thought there. Camera has frozen. Is my camera frozen? Is my camera frozen for anyone else? Anyone else not able to see my melon of a head moving around? There we go. Maybe it was Ethan's phone or laptop or whatever he's watching on. All good. There we go. Sweet. Freaking me out, mate. Freaking me out. So, Evan, yeah, were you talking about the club packing them, or were you talking about the club mostly? Yeah, so obviously, Evan, FFE have called the season off now. There will be no more season. As far as what's going on behind the scenes at the club, that's a matter for Chris Gomez, the president, and the committee. I'm not really across all the information behind the scenes, so what I am across is the sort of coaching stuff, because I obviously was or have been acting as TD there the last couple of years. Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I know we've got, like, my assistant coach Brett, he's going back to Canberra. Ethan's a new coach this year, my brother, so I don't know what his plans are yet. I think he wants to have a go at boxing. Stephen, what are your plans? Are you still at the club next year? Stephen, for those of you that don't know, Stephen Birch in the chat is the under-17 girls coach. Doing a fantastic job with a really talented bunch of girls. But yeah, all in all, Evan, over the last 2 years, the club has come on leaps and bounds, mate. It really has. We made some big structural changes behind the scenes, in terms of committee, in terms of how the football side of things have run. We made some big changes there, and sort of streamlined everything. It's probably the best way to explain it, and had people that sort of, if they're in charge of football, let them do football. If they're in charge of the committee stuff, let them do the committee stuff, and not having too many people getting involved in other people's jobs. And so far, it's been really, really good. The feeling around the club, in my opinion, has been the best it's been in a long time. The guys on the pitch are doing well. The juniors are doing really well. Yeah, so, I mean, you'd have to ask each person how they individually feel, but from what I've seen over the last couple of years and what I've been involved in working on the last couple of years, and what I've tried to introduce to the club the last couple of years, I think the club's made some really, really good growth, and it's looking really good. Stephen, what do you think about the potential FIFA bans on clubs who did not send players into red zone countries for international games? I think it's ridiculous, Stephen. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's ridiculous because a club is making multi-million... This is actually the perfect time to ask this question. We were just talking about how much money these players are being paid. Players are being paid. Oh, my days. That was a struggle, wasn't it? Oof. Anyway, we were just talking about how much they're being paid. So these clubs are paying 10 million, 9 million, 8 million pounds a year to these guys. That's a massive investment. And they have, I've spoken about this before, in my opinion, the club has the right to protect its investments. 100%, as does any business. And I know it sucks to say it because it's a football club and it's not a typical business, but at the end of the day, it is a business and they do have a right to protect their investments, 100%. So as for FIFA butting their nose in, I don't agree with it. It's the other thing with it is the clubs cannot help. The clubs don't pick which countries are red listed. They don't have any say in that. The English government the English government pick which countries are red listed. The clubs are just trying to comply with that. So or work around that as best they can. So for FIFA to then come and butt their nose in, to me, is just ridiculous. They need to butt out. But if I know FIFA, they're just after $1, mate. They just want to try and squeeze some money out of it. I don't think it's right. I don't think they should be involved. And And yeah, like I said, I think clubs are well within their right to protect multi-million-dollar investments. At the end of the day, I had this conversation actually a while ago with some guys on Facebook in a group that I'm in on Facebook, and people were laughing and taking the mick out of players on the bench with blankets on them and stuff like that and gloves and, oh, why would you do that? You're just like rah rah. It's a multi-million-pound investment. Why wouldn't you want it at peak condition? It doesn't make sense not to do it. And like when you're paying that much money, it needs to be looked after. In this case, the players, they need to be looked after. Stephen Birch, it's also based on COVID rules. If the player comes back from a red zone country, they have to quarantine for 10 days. Exactly right. And in those 10 days in England, you could miss 4 games. Quite easily. 3 games, 4 games. So, again, it comes down to the clubs wanting to maintain their competitive edge and protect their assets. And they're right to do that. They're absolutely right to do that. And I don't think FIFA really has the right to get involved in that. Personally, I know FIFA are upset because they want the best players playing for their countries and blah, blah, blah. But maybe FIFA should have done more to have games played in alternative venues. They should have arranged something around that. That's my opinion. Two seconds. Stephen, RE next year, yes, playing the front up again. Awesome, mate, awesome. Have you spoken to the girls about whether they're staying on, Stephen? Evan, when am I going to get to see you in another pair of boots, mate? What's going on? Need to get you back on a pitch, surely. Coaching at the very least. Ethan, good old little creatures. Yeah, Friday night beer. Drink sensibly, guys. I should probably put a little bit of a plug in there. Drink responsibly. Don't do anything silly. Yeah, but I enjoy a Friday beer. I've worked hard for it. Stephen Birch, agree. That's good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Ethan, wouldn't be drinking that because I bought the last of the old speckled hen. Did you? 2 seconds. You missed some, mate. You missed some. There you go. So, I opened the little creatures. Here's the story. Here's a beer story. Not a football story, a beer story. I had some little creatures in the fridge. Jack had to go to the doctors. My wife, she had to go to the doctors. So I go out, crack a little creatures. I'm like, I'll enjoy a beer while I'm on the stream. All that good stuff. And crack a little creatures, start drinking away. And then my beautiful wife comes home. 6-pack of my favourite beers. Old speckled hen. The good stuff from back home. So, you missed some, Ethan. Good try though, mate. Good try. Anyway, back on subject. Where were we? Evan, I'll be picking up football again once I move out to stay fit. I'll try and move nearby. That is awesome to hear, man. I would love to see you back in a pair of boots. One of the most talented young players I've seen in this country by far. It'll be interesting to see if you've still got some magic in you. Stephen, girls team. I will lose 5 players who will be out of the age bracket, but hopefully the others will be back. Yeah, that's a tough one, Stephen. It is a tough one, and there's some killer players in that girls team. Absolute killer players. So the women's team will be absolutely wrapped. I'm sure Kat's throwing a party somewhere. Getting ready for the players she's got coming in. I'm guessing that's the likes of Scarlett and stuff like that. So a really good win for the women's team, though. Hopefully that can help the women's team push on and get promotion, because they haven't been far off. Well, they weren't far off that first year I came back. They were real close. So hopefully some young energy in there is what they need. So we'll see. I think it'll be like Scarlett, Bella. I'm trying to remember who else might be in the older age group. Who else? I'm drawing a blank. Gypsy. Is Gypsy one of the older girls? Anyway, yeah. Very, very, very talented team. Very talented team. And then hopefully, so for Evan, if you are back down this way and you're joining the club, hopefully the boys that I was coaching this year, that Ethan was helping me with, hopefully we'll see a lot of those boys come into the senior setup, playing reserves. A couple of them playing seniors, I'm sure. Young Mikey, Evan, if you do come down and Mikey's still about, absolutely class player, mate. Sensational. Hill, Isaac, Omar in the like. Honestly, I could go on. The under 16A's team have blown me away. Absolutely blown me away this year. I'm rapt with those boys, and I can't wait to see what they do in senior football. I really can't. And I would imagine most of them will be moving into that senior setup at some level. So yeah, it's exciting times at Pakenham. We've sort of got that established connection back between juniors and seniors as well, which is really nice. And the juniors now, like the older junior age groups, are really excited about playing in that senior setup. So Scarlett and Gypsy still be 17s. Lily, Bella, Beck, Charlotte and Jamie. Yeah, it's tough with the girls too, Stephen, because they sort of become sort of one big social unit. So then when you start taking people out of it, it can get a bit daunting for them. But yeah, I mean, having you there again for another year will definitely help, and I hope sort of Jason stays on and helps out and whatever else. But because yeah, I think a consistent coach will definitely help settle that down a bit. So. Yeah, what else do we have to talk about? I think we've covered everything I wanted to talk about. So it might just be chat time. Let me just double check my notes. Ethan messaging me on my phone and in chat. Top form. Evan, yeah, that connection was hard when I was there. I think the oldest bracket under seniors was under 12s or under 14s. Yeah, so that's one of the things we really worked on when I came back, Evan, was getting that relationship between juniors and seniors re-established and reconnected, and having the senior coaches looking at the junior teams, and obviously myself interacting. It helped that I was TD, so I could sort of push that interaction a bit more. But yeah, honestly, the senior coaching team this year has been sensational in terms of the men's and like the seniors and reserves. They've been amazing. They've been really open to having a look at the boys. After they had a look at the boys, they were chasing me for the players, so it was made a bit easier there. And my boys always love going up and having a go. So yeah, it's been a really good year for that. I've really enjoyed it. Christopher, what are your top 5 players in the Prem? So I love these questions. Christopher. Best player in the Premier League, Kevin De Bruyne. Really gutted we don't have him at Chelsea anymore. I don't think he'd done a whole lot wrong. I just think he wanted to go somewhere where he'd get more minutes. I thought he deserved more minutes at Chelsea when he was there, but it is what it is. Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the Premier League. Harry Kane, on recent form, you can't argue. Highest goal scorer and assist leader. Mental. Who else will go? Bruno Fernandes. Can't argue that. He's been unreal for United since he's come in. If we look at the first month of the Premier League this season, Mikel Antonio has been by far and away the best player this month. Is he best in the entire Premier League long term? No, but this month he's been sensational. But if we go top 5 Prem over the last couple of years, De Bruyne, Fernandes, who else did I just say before? Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, and do you know what? now I've got names running through my head, and I'm like, I'm missing this guy, and this is where doubt starts to set in, and I'm not sure, but whoa. I'd say Angola Kante. Especially with what he done in the Champions League, man of the match, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. Mental, absolutely mental. I reckon they're your top five. I think pretty much every team in the Premier League would like to have those five. Christopher Van Dijk, Salah. Christopher Van Dijk, amazing player. Probably the best centre back in the league. I think Varane will give him a good run for his money this year. Salah, yeah, he's been sensational. Can't argue that. The reason I would say Heung-min Son over Salah is Salah had a better team around him. Heung-min Son was able to do it with less quality around him to assist in that. Van Dijk, again, one of the best players in the league. The reason I don't give him top five is he's missed half a season injured. So is De Bruyne recently. He's missed a lot of games injured. Yeah, they'd be in the chat. This is what I mean, Christopher. Then when you start thinking about it, other names are coming up, and I'm like, oh, maybe him. So it's hard to pick a top five. But I'd say De Bruyne, Kane, Heung-min Son, Kante, and Bruno Fernandes. I reckon they're your top five at the moment. Interested to see what you guys reckon. You tell me. But yeah, I love those questions. They're awesome questions. It really gets the brain ticking over, and then I'll come away from this stream and I'll still be thinking about this question now. This is going to be ticking over in my head all night. Yeah, top question. Really good question. But yeah, Evan, as I was saying, if you do come back, that connection now is mean. And we also now, Evan, we got seniors, reserves, and Metro. So you can come in at whatever level you're ready to play at, pretty much. Christopher, fair enough. Salah broke the EPL goals record with players like Lovren, Marino, etc. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Salah 100% is in the conversation for top five. 100% he's in conversation for top five. You know, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that would agree, that would say Salah better than Heung-min Son. I think that's 50-50. Personally, you could take either one on their day. The main reason I go with Heung-min Son, like I said, less quality around him generally, and he's just massively underrated. I think if you put Heung-min Son in a team like City, you would see how good he is. You really would. Or a team like Liverpool, you'd really see how good that guy is. Salah, 100%, he's in that top five discussion. Van Dijk, 100% in that top five discussion. Yeah. It's tough. The Premier League right now is probably the strongest it's been ever. It's got the best managers, it's got the best players. Everyone's coming to the Premier League. So, you know, especially now with the sort of what looks to be the downfall of Barcelona, Real Madrid not exactly smashing it at the moment either. Juventus are looking average. You know, European giants are struggling, and the Premier League is still going strong. So, and look at the Champions League in recent years. Premier League teams have done very well, very well. So it's very hard to pick five of the best players in the league that's just stacked, absolutely stacked. Yeah, so 100%. There's an argument there for Salah. There's an argument there for Van Dijk. There's an argument there for a lot of players, to be fair. You know, there's an argument there for the likes of your Raheem Sterling's. The list is just massive, absolutely massive. I mean, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold's probably right up in that discussion. Reece James on recent form is up in that discussion. Yeah, Edouard Mendy in goal. Since he's come to the Premier League, no keeper's kept more clean sheets than Edouard Mendy. Absolutely mental. sensational goalkeeper. And when you look at what he's come from, only 3 years ago he was unemployed. Now he's arguably the best keeper on the planet. Based on current form, I'm saying. So don't get too excited and start popping off just yet. Based on current form and clean sheets and winning the Champions League and all that sort of stuff, he's right up there in that conversation. To pick just 5 players is not an easy task. And, for every one you bring up, someone else could bring up another one for sure, Christopher. But it's a really cool question. A really cool question. Yeah. What else we got, guys? Who's in here who hasn't interacted yet? Say hello, like the stream, all that good stuff. Let us know you're about. And even if it's not football related, jump in chat, say hello. It's just nice to know who's about supporting. It doesn't have to be football. It's pretty much Friday night drinks and chats now. I'll obviously bang on about football until the cows come home. As many questions as you guys have got for football, I'll keep coming. But yeah, whatever. Personal, whatever, have fun, bit of banter, whatever it is. This is kind of the best chance we get to socialise, really, isn't it? So, yeah, have a chat, enjoy it. I'm going to open another beer in a minute. And, yeah, I feel like I missed a player. Someone asked me another player for wages, didn't they? Give me a second. I do make a point of responding to everyone, so if I miss you and I've missed a question you want answered, don't be afraid. If it's been 5-10 minutes and I haven't replied to something, to pop it up again. I'm surprised we're doing so well in chat tonight, because I know I think the AFL was on. Is the AFL on? Am I right on that? I don't know if anyone here knows about it. Is the footy on? Jack Lockwood. Hey, mate. How you doing? Good to see you. How are you and the family, mate? You doing well? Thanks for liking the stream. Appreciate it. Meanwhile, if you are in here chatting away to me and you haven't dropped me a like, come on, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Just one of them ones. Just one of them ones. Helps a lot. They're good fun. Christopher, make the best possible combined Prem 11. All right, Christopher. You know our Dream Team theme. You should know our Dream Team theme because you're a regular, Mr. Christopher. We will do our Dream Team theme best ever Prem 11 next week. All right? We'll lock that in. Evan. So there's 3 senior teams at Packing now. Yep. Seniors, reserves, Metro. And we've actually got a bit of a waiting list, so we could potentially, and don't hold me to this, but there could potentially be a second Metro team. All right? So we could potentially have 4 senior teams. Christopher, yeah, it's on. Jack Lockwood, yeah, good, mate. How's your evening? Doing all right, Jack? Glad you're in here, mate. Yeah, how's your dad? How's your family? Anything you want to chat about, mate? Any football or anything? Anything other than that you want to chat about? Let us know. Stephen Birch, NRL finished. Storm beat Sharks 28-10. Gets on the Storm. They should have had the record for the most wins, Stephen. They ballsed it up against bottom. Is it last place? I'm sure it was last place Eels, yeah? They ballsed it up. Not football related, but for those of you that haven't been to the NRL, years ago, when I first came over from England, I went to Melbourne Storm versus Manly Sea Eagles, and it was a semi-final, and the atmosphere was mental. It was absolutely crazy. Storm won the game. Flamethrowers going off, quad bikes racing around, cheerleaders doing their thing. Awesome experience. So you don't even need to be into rugby to enjoy it. Just go and check it out. The atmosphere is crazy. Christopher, okay. I'm guessing that's the Dream Team. We'll lock that in, Christopher. But the deal is, I need yours too. All right? So you guys are getting a bit of a preview if you're in this now. You know what our Dream Team theme is for next week. Premier League all-time 11. I want to see your all-time 11 as well, guys. All right? So I'll give you mine. I want to see yours. That'll be next Thursday or Friday, depending on how things are playing out. I'll put mine up, and I want to see some of yours as well. So have yours ready too, Christopher. I know you're young, so they don't have to be old boys, but give us something to work with. Stephen Birch. Yeah, they had an off game. I guess we can forgive one game off in 20. Yeah, fair call. Fair call. Do you reckon they go and win the flag again this year, Stephen? Go and win it all? Another good atmosphere. Again, not football. There you go. I can talk about other stuff too. My wife, my son and I, we went and watched the NBL, the basketball. We went and watched Melbourne United versus Sydney Kings. Another awesome atmosphere there too. Really cool, really cool. We were nice and close to the court. You got entertainment in the intervals, dancers and all sorts of stuff, and trampolines and flamethrowers going off when they're hitting threes and sirens, and it's really cool as well. So, yeah, also really good to watch. Stephen, hope so. Me too. Me too. I'm hoping the A-League can get back to its best in terms of atmosphere and some decent football. Christopher, I think allowing... what was I going to say? Allowing active support back into the stadiums is going to make a massive difference to the atmosphere in the A-League. As far as football, they've done a massive overhaul at Victory this year, so you would imagine Victory will be back up in the conversation, putting pressure on your Sydneys and your Cities, and so basically, so long as more teams are being competitive, ideally the quality of the games are going to be better. So you would imagine it should be a better year, but I'm not holding my breath. We'll see. By the way, we're talking current team for the Dream Team. I'm pretty sure you said all-time 11, didn't you? Give me a second. Where's that gone? I've lost your comment, Christopher. Did you say all-time 11 or just Prem 11? Make the best possible combined Prem 11. So it's up to you. We can do current or we can do all time. You tell me. Current. All right. So we'll do current best Prem 11. We'll do that. Alrighty, we'll do that, and then we'll save the all time for another week. Alrighty. Oh, that's what that was. That door opening was my wife bringing me a beer. What a legend. Thank you, baby. That's a good woman. Yeah. That's why I married her. That's the old speckled hen in my pint glass. Boom. What a wife. Oof. Far too good for me, but here we go. I was wondering why she was peeking in. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Alright chat, what have we got planned over the... not much we can do over the weekend obviously in terms of going out, but has anyone got any games they're planning on watching or anything in particular they're planning on doing? Anything going on over the weekend you want to chat about? Let's have it more casual, just a bit of social stuff. Also happy to talk football, always happy to talk football, but for those of you that aren't here for football, we can talk about more casual stuff as well. What have we got going on? What am I doing this weekend? Let's check the fixtures. Stephen, thanks for the chat, Dean. Need to bail out. Catch you next time. Stephen, really good to see you in here, mate. Thank you for coming. Look forward to seeing you in here again. Let's check the fixtures and see which games I'll be watching. When's England next game? 6th of September. What are we on? See, England games always have a crap kickoff. Eddie McCullum Senior in the house. Good to see you again, mate. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. A-League is shit. Need relegation and league below. shit, no promotion from State League is shit, waste of a season. 100%, Eddie. We were talking about that sort of stuff before. I said there's really no point in the season having existed really at this point. As for the A-League, I have been going on about relegation and promotion for... I don't know if Brian Farmer's still in the chat, but as long as I've known that guy, and that's... 14 years maybe. So, and if anyone remembers, that was the whole point of the NPL when it came in. It was to come in and be the second division and bridge the gap between A-League and State League. So State League, NPL, A-League, and he was supposed to be able to get promoted up into the A-League. That was the original reason for being for the NPL. Now they're talking about this championship they want to introduce, which, why? You've got the NPL there. The NPL is full of historically top league clubs and well-followed clubs. Doesn't make sense, Eddie, but 100% needs to be promotion relegation, no doubt about it. And yeah, I agree. No promotion, no relegation in state leagues, NPLs, all that sort of stuff. It sucks. It's again, that's 2 years wasted now. It's 2 years wasted. It'll, for some clubs, they'll be happy because there'll be clubs out there that are trying to play catch up, and a couple of years with nothing to lose now and time to just build, they'll be doing well. But all in all, really, it's been a lot of effort from a lot of people, a lot of volunteers and all that sort of stuff, and ultimately for nothing. So disappointing, mate. Disappointing. But how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you and the family are doing all right. As I said before, guys, if you're chatting away in here and you haven't dropped us a like, drop us a like. Where are we? Christopher, I would love that to happen. The problem is they don't want the clubs to have different cultural backgrounds other than Australian. Example, Heidelberg Greek. Yeah, Heidelberg Greek, Dandy City, Croatian, Dandy Thunder, Albanian, even your Lang Warren, British, so English, Scottish, all that sort of stuff down there. Yeah, and it's crap, Christopher. At the end of the day, it's absolute crap. It really is just crap. They've sort of loosened up the rules on that now a little bit. But I'm guessing you got Greek background, Christopher. If you do, young Evan or Bago, what's his name in this? Bago Player, I think it is. Yeah, Bago Player, Christopher. If you see Bago Player, he used to play for Olympiacos, mate. He is a very, very good player. I played with him when he came over to Australia. Very, very good player from the Olympiacos Academy. So he's well worth chatting to. If you follow any of the Greek football, I'm sure he'd be across it. Are you still about, Bago? But yeah, point being, Christopher, I agree. Clubs should be able to show their culture. I'm actually talking to someone at the moment. I can't say too much, but I'm talking to someone at the moment about starting an English club. So, Christopher, wow, that is a very fair effort. He's a very fair player, to be fair, mate. I don't know if he's still in here. I hope he is. He's a class bloke as well. Not just a good player, but a really nice guy. So, hopefully he's still in here, and maybe you two can have a chat. Yeah, he's quality. Evan, I'm blushing, mate. Nothing to blush about, mate. You're quality. Absolute quality. Although, Christopher, for all of his experience playing for Olympiacos, it was myself and a guy named Richard that still had to teach him how to head a ball. He got told he was too small to have to learn how to header. So we remedied that, taught him how to header, and he scored a goal with his head. You're welcome. I'm surprised, Evan. I'm surprised Olympiacos haven't called me up, given me a job, mate. You obviously haven't been telling your mates. But yeah, Christopher, are you Greek background yourself, mate? Makes sense with Pete obviously having that background as well. I suppose we haven't seen Pete in tonight. I wonder what he's up to. Have you finished? Have you finished uni yet, Evan? What's to go with you, mate? Are you still at uni? Evan, they know they're watching you. Are they, mate? Taking notes. Ah, they don't need to take notes, mate. I'll just give me a job. I'll fly over and take care of it for them. All done. Greek background. There you go. There you go. Yeah, you still at uni, Evan? But yeah, as I said, I've also been approached and talked to someone about starting an English club because I don't think there's enough English clubs around either. So we're keen to have that cultural. We're keen to have that cultural thing in the club, in the clubs, 100%. Evan, no, I've cut down the units per semester because I've got a lot on my plate at the moment, so it will take a few more years. Fair enough, mate. That's fair enough. If you've got a lot going on, if you ever need to reach out, mate, and I'm always here for you. If you ever need to chat or whatever else, let us know, mate. If you wanted to move down this way, hit us up. I'll see if I can help you find somewhere, whatever it might be. But yeah, always got your back, mate. Always got your back. It'd be good to see you playing again, though. 100%. Have you still been playing indoor or something like that, Evan? Keep yourself sharp. Alright, I've got 6 people watching and 2 talking. Who else is in here? Get involved. Evan, if I move earlier, I'll be looking to join. Awesome, mate. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think I might have reminded people footy's on. Whoops. I think footy's on. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Silly sport anyway. Sorry if that was loud. My bad. Might start to wrap it up soon. Go spend some time with my lovely wife. Bago, nah, nothing, bro. Also got a leg problem, so I need a paced restart. I think I remember you saying that last time I seen you, Evan, you were having injury problems with your legs. Not ideal. Not common, though, for a smaller guy. Footy's on, is it, Christopher? Who's playing, Chris? Evan, got a scram, bro. Nice talking. I'll be on next stream if I'm on. No dramas, Evan. It'll be next Tuesday, most likely, 7 p.m. So hopefully we'll see you there. But yeah, thanks for coming in again, man. Really appreciate it. Talk to your mates, Evan. Get them in here. Get them in here. Yeah, no, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Take care. And like I said, if you ever need someone to chat to, mate, just reach out, yeah? And we might start to call that a night, I reckon. I might go and enjoy some drinks and enjoy my Friday night and get ready for a long weekend of sitting at home. Geelong and GWS, it's a semi-final. Do you follow anyone in the footy, Chris? Yeah, all good. Go and enjoy your night. Alright, mate. All good. Thank you for those of you that have tuned in. Before I do head off, for those of you that watch this, watch this later, whatever it might be, we are all going through tough times. Please, please, please don't try and take it on yourself. If you're struggling with depression, whatever it might be, please reach out for help. Family, friends, me, a professional, whatever it might be. Just reach out, ask for help. You're not on your own, yeah? So we are here for you. Your mates are there for you. Don't try and take on too much by yourself. There's no need for it. Yeah, if you need help, just ask. All right. But until then, till next time, thank you everyone that's tuned in. Really good chat again, guys. Really interactive. Love that stuff. Thank you everyone for your support. I am starting to get my head around a few things. I'm working with support at the moment to get Twitch working. So hopefully I can get that up and running and we can be streaming across the 3 platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. And hopefully that'll help us grow a little bit, and then I can start getting the interviews rolling. So yeah, stay tuned. We're also going to look at doing some sort of giveaway. I haven't worked out what that'll be yet, but some sort of giveaway to help boost the numbers as well, and we'll go from there. So thank you everyone for the support. Much love to you all. Hope you're doing well. And next Tuesday, most likely, 7 p.m. is when we'll be back. But follow us on Facebook. That's where the announcements go up.